everybody, today we're going to be making this, well, you can make it as a card or a tag using the Forest Realm collection. So let's get started. Now I'm going to be using a piece of the masking sheet to mask off this little inner door. So there's two sides, there's a plasticky bit and then there's the, let's try stamping because we're going to be cutting this out and using it as a mask. So pop it down there. And then all we need to do is cut that out. So there's my little door. I've got a piece of multifarious card, 6 by 12.5, because that will then fit on a 12.5 by 12.5 card. I'm going to peel off my masked image. Comes off this bit of acetate, and what I did was I did actually stamp it first. So I'm just stamping it slightly off centre. See, there we go. I'm just going to give it a quick dry with the heat tool, and then put the mask over the top. It's quite an easy one to line up, this one, really, because it's got that pointy bit. You see, this pointy bit at the top. There we go. Now you can use these more than once. And then I'm going to start my ink round. I'm going to be using a number 7 stencil brush, and I'm going to start with the dark denim. And I'm going to be going off the paper and onto the card. So I've got the darkest area at the edges coming in. You just have to be careful you don't catch that masking sheet as you do it. So that's the dark denim around the outside. I'm going to pop a little bit of Della Blue in the middle. Now you can't really tell to a certain extent. This one is all the denim blue. This one has got denim blue around the outside and the Della Blue more in the middle. And I think it just gives a slightly lighter edge. But when you're working like this, a bit lighter as you go, I'm not sure that you can tell. But plus I'm using the same brush, so you're going to get some of that colour in there. And don't worry about it being perfect because you're going to stamp over it anyway. Plus it's the night sky, and I found, you know, you've got the odd brush mark or something. Spritzing it with water just transforms it. Now I'm spritzing it because I'm going to make it's the night sky, so there's going to be stars in there. So we could use a heat dryer, or we can just blot it like that, and we go, look at those, you see, stars already in our night sky. So quick and easy. Now I'm going to be using one of the circle masks with a bit of tape on here so I can see it and so I can find it. That's what I'm using to give those kind of circular edges. So first of all, I'm going to start with a circle of water. So I've got a wet brush and I'm just going to go along here and just make a watery mark, and that will instantly, because the elements react so well to water, instantly gets it. Now I don't know where this is picking up green from. I'm loving it because it just makes me think of the Northern Lights colours, that kind of thing. So it happened before and I was really pleased with it. Obviously got a few speckles of tinkles on from previous projects. And that will keep reacting to that ink that's on there. And then we're going to come at it with other colours. So I'm going to use an acrylic block and just pop a little bit of Periwinkle Dinkles on here to mix up and make a purpley ink to add on here. If you've not got dinkles, you could just as easily do this with Elements and just dab your Elements ink pad on there and make up some ink. And the other thing you can do is add a little bit of sparkle. So let's add some of this white sparkle. Now if you dip a wet paintbrush in here, so we just need the tiniest dip, you see that? And we're going to mix that in. Don't sneeze or cough when you've got that open. Let's mix it in and we'll have a bit of sparkly periwinkle then. And I'm going to set my circle. Let's set it there, a bit of a different angle. I'm just going to follow it round again with my paintbrush. And if, like me, you pull some off like that, doesn't matter, you can just add a bit more. I have some very, very sparkly water next to me. There we go. Let's add an arc coming this way. Here. I mean, you could do these freehand if you wanted. I just found it easier using a circle to start with. And then the next colour I'm going to use is pink dinkles. There we go. What I ended up doing, because I've got some sparkle there, let's just steal it. Make a kind of pinky purple. Now this is a really strong colour. We'll add some pink coming this way, I think. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. You can keep playing with this, it's just beautiful. With this, let's go here. Bring that pink. Because I made it quite watery, it's seeping under the mask. Plus I'm not holding the mask flat because I didn't want to catch these bits. But for me that still works. I'm going to add some pink splatters here as well. I really like how these sit, whether you can see on here, they kind of sit with, once they dry, with almost like a blue edge. Really so pretty. Now next what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the Star Group Mini from the £1. In fact, there's quite a few minis used in this one. They're such good value. You get such a good quality stamp image just for £1. It's just incredible. I've got Versifying Medieval Blue Star Cluster, and let's pop some blue stars. I always try it out just on a piece of paper just to get a feel of the stamp. Pop those on there. We'll have some up here. And then let's stamp it off there. Let's get some second generation ones in there as well. There we go. And the other one that works really well with this pink, so that's Pink Dinkles, works really well with Purple Delight. Let's add some purple ones. So I'm popping these in between the those medieval blue ones. I'm just highlighting this, I don't know what you'd call it, this little area where our garden is going to be. Hint of a garden to visit. Now the other stamps that we'll be using is the Lucky Clover Mini. Here we go. I'm going to go back to the medieval blue. Top of this door. Hinting at what's going on inside. Maybe one at the bottom as well, I think. The text I've chosen to use with this as well is the Fairy Spells horse. It refers to Celestial Delights, which I thought particularly worked well with this. So let's add some of that here. Again, just using that medieval blue. Just don't be tough, I don't want it quite that strong. Let's get some text on here. There we go, look at that. There we are. So we've got this circle here defining where where our little garden's going to be. So I'm going to add some ferns round here and my moss cap mushrooms. They work really well with the pound stamp toadstools. So just a little bit more background on here before we take that door off and start colouring, and then some splattering to go on there. So using the Purple Delight, the other thing about having a bit of paper here means I can always rip a bit off when I need to mask a little area. I ink that up with Purple Delight, and I want it to look like it's growing out of this pinky purple area, but not kind of going any lower than that. Oh. So let's have it coming through here like this. The colour worked really well. So that's that one. These tiny little toadstools. I have quite a toadstool collection now, Lavinia stamps. Pop those there. Have another one. Sure, we're coming out from down here. Might not see that in a bit because of the ferns we're going to put. Here we go. Fern. I've been using Twilight rather than black for this, but you can choose. Pop a fern as if it's coming out from behind the door. There we go. And let's do the reveal. Peel that off. There's a lovely black and white door. So I'm going to colour my door next, and I've used the watercolour pencils. They're such a good quality. They're kind of they've got a real softness to them, but react really nicely with water. So I'm using a brown, and I'm pressing harder in the dark bits. It's already got some shading for you to guide you, and then I kind of lift it off a little as I move in. And a bit of colour here. Brown over the door, cross piece. I'm coming up this way. And I'm kind of varying the weight to show up some of that grain, although the colour will move a fair bit when I add some water. I added some blue over the top. These combine beautifully. They're just such a soft colouring pencil. They're really lovely to use. So add that on there. And then I'm going to put some colours on here. Now I would have just popped, I think I might have done my first, just put I think I did the first time I did it just a blue, and then I saw one of Mona's pieces and she'd used a few colours, and I thought, that's really lovely. That's that makes it look a bit more fairy-like and enchanted. And that's the beauty of inspiration, isn't it? And you just use your wet brush to blend that together. You could leave it if you wanted as a coloured colour background. You can see the difference. That's with water, that's just coloured in. I like that watery effect that's coming through the whole project. Let's just merge these colours together. There we go. Enchanted garden. There we go. Let's add a bit of colouring. Let's add our stamping over. We're going to do is adding this stamping to bring it to the foreground to make it enticing to go in and add those layers in. Let's pop another fern, I think, with the, just using Twilight this time, just off the centre of the door, so it looks like it's that bit of door that you can't see is bringing that in. And let's pop some ferns there at the front as well. A bigger one there, shall we? So this is slightly in front of the door, starting here. The other fern. Have that coming round there. Okay. I'm going to heat that again because in a minute I'm going to be using embossing powder, and it would, because VersaFine is a slow drying ink, it would stick to those ferns, and that's what I don't want. Right, let's find those little tiny toadstools. I've damped these in the pink. Coming up here. But I'm going to pop some of the white powder on them to make them a bit like moonlight toadstools. See what I mean about it catching the fern? I'm going to get a dry brush and just brush off the bits I don't want. I also, as you can hear, give it a bit of a blow. So let's just get rid of what we don't want white. There we go. Heat that, melt the powder. We've got some little ghost-like toadstools. There. Doesn't take much to melt them, especially when it's a tiny one like that. And the other ones we're going to use is the small one of the thistle cap toadstools. I'm going to pop that coming up here. I'm going to acrylic plate again. I'm going to go with one of them here, but I'm going to mask the bottom just so it's a little bit shorter, and then we'll have one bending over, I think. Now you can use your embossing powder, your Versamark embossing, or you can use your any of the VersaFine really, as you've just seen. Because they stay wet, they will hold on to the ink, and that's all you need. You just need something to pop the ink where you want it, really. So let's have this standing out from there, one of them, and then I'm going to bend it this way, and we'll pop another one in. Pop that. Oh, it's lost its curve, it's just gone shooting off on its own. Okay, that's what I wanted. There we go. And again, I'm just going to pop some white embossing on the top of there. So let's heat that. There we go, starting to melt. Lovely. Can you see? Right, one thing I did add to this was the cream. I think it's just an off-white. See what colour it says. Ivory. I added this to the toadstools the first time I did it because they didn't quite work out how I thought, and I really liked it. So now it's become a thing. And because Posca will go on anything, it will go on that embossing. Maybe pop a bit on there. Lovely. Just find the right pencil just to ground these toadstools a little bit. And I also used a little black pen. I'm sure you need it on this one, but any black liner pen will just give you a bit of grounding. I'm going to go back to that sparkle that I had and a brush, and a pink sparkle. I'm just going to pop it on here. Give that mushroom a little bit of sparkle. And then last but not least, I'm going to add some with my Silver Drop of Shimmer. These are they're not the cheapest, but I use it all the time. I just think it's what I've over time collected all three, and they're just beautiful, and I think they probably last you a good long amount of time. And aren't they pretty in their little bottles? I'm just dipping it in, so I'm going to splatter some white sparkle. You could make your own sparkle from white dinkles and some of that mica if you wanted to. Use what you've got when you need to. There we go. I can highly recommend this stuff. Makes me very happy, I have to say. And there we go. That's our enchanted garden in the stars. And just mount that against some black card, and then I used Shine Brightly from the Sentiment Stickers Set 6, and you're away. Or you could add this to your journal. You could add it, use it as a tag. Have fun playing with the watery effects that you can get when you're playing with elements with some added sparkle. Enjoy, and please let me know if you make some. Tag me some in the comments. Let me know where to find you, and I'd love to see what you do. Bye.